It's Tuesday, August 20, 2019, and this is Globespan 24x7 News. My name is Samuel Snandon, coming to you live from Georgetown, Guyana. Here are the major headlines for today. Guyana's economic growth nothing to be excited about, says analyst. $70 million mortuary to be constructed in Region 6 by year-end. Over 50 employers taken to court for breaching labor laws. Law students praise government for scholarship initiative. And JetBlue considering Guyana route, says Minister Patterson. We begin tonight's newscast by telling you that the government has revealed that the local economy is estimated to have grown by 4% in the first half of 2019, with a projected 4.5% growth rate for the remainder of the year. Minister of Finance Winston Jordan boasted about this when he launched the Ministry of Finance mid-year report that included the country's economic performance. But economic and finance analyst Joel Bagwindin said that the growth could only be attributed to two sectors, which is an indication that the traditional sectors are performing poorly.
When you look at where the growth actually came from, without going to too much of technical details of the report, the growth essentially came from oil and gas related activities and gold. Those two single sectors are the only sectors that have been keeping this economy growing. And why it is not a growth to be excited about is because we have only found oil in 2017, and since 2015, and since 2015 to date, all the other productive sectors that have been the bedrock of the Guyanese economy have been declining.
Bagwindin, who lectures economics and finance, said based on an analysis for the last 8 years, comparing the last 4 years to the previous 4 years, he has come to the conclusion that the economy has lost some $647 billion from the other productive sectors aside from gold and oil.
We take the performance of gold and the performance of oil out of the equation, we would have been nowhere different from where Venezuela is today, right? Because it's a lot of all the investments that are coming in, all the foreign inflows that are coming in, they're all from the oil and gas related investments, oil and gas related sector.
According to the Ministry of Finance report, the half-year growth was registered with sectors such as rice 3.7% in spite of the paddy bug infestation, other crops 4.8% driven by the root crops, spices and vegetables, gold at 4.4% spurred by declarations of small and medium miners, forestry 8.5% driven by small and medium concessionaries, manufacturing, a critical sector according to Jordan, 3.6%. Driven by rice, like manufacturing, including pharmaceuticals, beverages, edible items, and timber products, construction at 8.2%, on account of both public and private investment. Services sector 4.6%, driven by wholesale and retail trade, 5.9%. Transportation and storage, 5.5%. Financial and insurance activities, 4.1%, and other services activities, 10%.
Our traditional productive sectors in the last, compared to the previous half year 2018 to 2019, we have lost about $42 million US dollars in exports, and this is from the traditional sectors, rice, timber, other exports, and that is not a very good sign. That is not a very healthy sign.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at our Bank of Guyana reserve, our Bank of Guyana net foreign asset for the first half of 2018 was 110.6 million. In 2019, January to June, Bank of Guyana net foreign asset was 6.3 million US dollars. That's a loss of 104 million or 94%. Now that is very worrying.
Public Infrastructure Minister David Patterson reported that American airline carrier JetBlue is considering a Guyana route and is expected to visit the country in September. Patterson said that the carrier's launch in Guyana was pushed back from November of this year. Previously, reports circulated that another airline, UK-based Virgin Atlantic Airways, was also considering adding Guyana to its list of destinations. The report, which was widely publicized by various medias in and around the Caribbean region, was quickly dispelled. A report published by online media entity Simplifying made it clear that the company was in no way considering a Guyana route for the new year. The Berbice region is expected to benefit soon from the construction of a new mortuary at the tune of $70 million by year-end. The new and improved facility is expected to be housed in the compound of the National Psychiatric Hospital. More from Shakima Day.
Residents of New Amsterdam and nearby communities are expected to benefit from a state-of-the-art morgue facility set to be completed by the end of this year. The new building, which will be housed within the psychiatric hospital compound, is set to cost $70 million and will replace the old facility currently being used at the New Amsterdam Hospital. Director of Health Services in Region 6, Mr. Javon Stevens, told Globespan 24x7 News in an exclusive interview that works are set to begin next week.
Today, members of the public, East Berbice Quarantine, witnessed the turning of the sod for what will be a state-of-the-art mortuary constructed in the compound of the National Psychiatric Hospital. The work is scheduled to start next week, and it is scheduled to complete by the end of 2019. This project is undertaken by the Ministry of Public Health and is to the value of $70 million Guyana dollars. The minister and team visited yesterday, and she said in her comment to the media that she would like to thank the Ministry of Finance for playing a part in ensuring the vision of the Ministry of Public Health is realized here in East Berbice Quarantine.
According to the director, this is the first facility of its kind to be built in Guyana and will serve as a model for other regions.
The mortuary will have in it a small chapel, so persons can even have a little service right in the building before removing their bodies. And also it will be built taking into consideration infectious control. So it'll be a separate part at the back for when you're doing PMEs on persons that would have been suspect of having various diseases, so that there's no possibility of even having the staff exposed to contamination.
Stevens noted that this facility will be a positive addition to the region, mainly because of its location. The old facility is currently being housed in close proximity to the hospital's kitchen and one of the main entrances to the hospital. The problematic facility has been highlighted in the media in previous months, with reports made about it being malfunctioned, causing bodies to become decomposed. Reporting for Globespan 24x7 News, Shakima Day.
Thanks, Shakima. Government remains committed to ensuring that all businesses and organizations, both in the private and public sector in Guyana, operate in accordance with the stipulated labor laws which govern the nation. As such, several employers are now before the courts for breaching these laws. Here's that story. Social Protection Minister Amna Ali says that her ministry has come across many organizations and companies breaching local labor laws.
They deduct NIS subscriptions from contributions from workers, and they do not pay it in to the NIS, and so you find that there is a multitude of problems at the level of the NIS for them to receive benefits when the time arises for them to receive benefits. And so, you know, with the NIS, you have to make a certain amount of contributions. Now, if the employer does not remit deductions from the workers, it means that it will show that the workers have not been paying their contributions and they suffer.
Ali, who appeared in a recent state interview, said her government is trying to reverse this unethical practice because it cannot continue to happen.
At the moment, we have about 50-something of those employers in court for various offenses, and that being a major one. We are seeking to ensure that in all respects they comply with the law.
She said her office has been working to initiate the legal requirements of various agencies regarding the employment conditions of staff. According to her, a recent complaint was made to her ministry regarding a particular security agency underpaying its workers.
Delved into it. We have investigated. We have found that this is true. And we are going to take action because we cannot allow the workers out there to suffer at the hands of these people. And so the first thing we are going to look at, we are going to take the agency to court. And outside of that, there may be a possibility of withdrawing the company's license.
For Globespan 24/7 News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, has reported that 270,282 Guyanese have been registered thus far. Less than a week ago, the High Court ruled that the house-to-house registration process is legitimate. Public Relations Officer of GECOM, Yolanda Ward, confirmed this total during an interview with the Department of Public Information. Before the High Court ruling, the PRO said some enumerators had encountered some challenges but maintained that this would not prevent the Commission from carrying out its mandate. On Wednesday, August 14, Chief Justice Roxton George Wiltshire ruled that there is nothing unlawful or unconstitutional about GECOM's house-to-house registration exercise. Accountant Christopher Ram had challenged the legality of this exercise and had lost in his bid to have the court block the registration process from taking place. Guyanese law students attending the U Wooden Law School were today in high praise of the government's initiative to offer full scholarships to eligible students for the year 2019 to 2020. The details on this story.
The students who completed their first-year studies at the Hugh Wooding Law School in Trinidad lauded the government's decision to offer full scholarships to eligible students for the upcoming year. Many of the students who met with the Attorney General Basil Williams today welcomed this move since it will alleviate some of the financial pressure being faced by Guyanese students who are pursuing their law degrees. Olivia Best, Vice President of the Guyanese Jurisdiction Committee, explained that tuition fees have increased for first-year students, and this puts added strain on one person who spends approximately $5 million per year in total.
We as students, Guyanese students within Trinidad and Tobago, we suffer a lot of financial difficulties in relation to our tuition fees, our living expenses, food arrangements, apartments, etc. For example, the tuition fee currently, it has increased for the first years. It is no longer $98,366. It is now $101,066 TT dollars. When you exchange that, when you bring it in terms of Ghana dollars, that would be estimated $3.something million.
According to Best, more than 50 Guyanese students face the same problem, and they are satisfied that the government is willing to help.
So I'm grateful that the ministry, along with the Attorney General, they're here and they're willing to hear our pleas and hear our cries, because this has been going on for many years. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm also thankful for the scholarship.
To be eligible for scholarships, students must be under 35 years old, the holder of a Bachelor of Law degree with a GPA of 3.3, which they would have obtained within the last 5 years. Additionally, applicants must have had an acceptance letter from the university for the year 2019-2020. Reporting for Globespan 24/7 News, Shakima Day.
Thanks, Shakima. Attorney General Basil Williams says that construction of a local law school is still on the cards and that government is still working out the details before further information is provided. More in this report. Government is still facing some challenges in relation to the establishment of a law school here. This is according to Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams. The AG told the press today that although there has been little talk about these plans, the issue is still on the cards.
We'll have a school, one way or the other. We'll look at that issue. You know, nations, they do the London LLB. So you have countries in Jamaica that do the same thing too. I think it's at UTEC or one of them. And they're interested in a law school to get their students in also. So it's a subject that is not closed.
The minister said in the interim, however, Guyana must continue to train people in law, especially given the establishment of the new oil and gas sector.
So we definitely have to get a pool of lawyers keep generating. I think in Trinidad and Jamaica, it's over 250 every year. And still they want to increase more, and still Jamaica wants another law school. So we will have to do something before you don't have Guyanese lawyers here.
Williams said there is a plan in place, but he would not reveal much at this moment. In January of 2017, the Attorney General signed the historic Memorandum of Understanding with the University of the Caribbean and the Law College of the Americas for the establishment of the J.O.F. Haynes Law School here in Guyana. However, approval is still being sought from the Council of Legal Education. At present, Guyana is only allowed 25 students to enter the law program at the U Wooden Law School in Trinidad and Tobago, as opposed to the Twin Island Republic and Jamaica, which are churning out approximately 200 students per year. The Caribbean region currently has 3 law schools located in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. For Globespan 24x7 News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. is awaiting a report from an investigation that was launched into the death of a carpenter on August 14. More from Kippany Jordan.
It is alleged that persons in the community of Coverden, East Bank, Demerara were stealing electricity, and a live wire was left exposed when Orlando Ramnarine, 34, of Sarah Joanna, East Bank, Demerara, went fishing that caused him to be electrocuted. Globespan 24x7 News spoke with the public relations officer of GPL and was told that they were awaiting a report.
We are waiting a report, so when we get a report, we could formally state something.
I see. So GPL isn't aware of whether or not that was actually an issue. It's just an investigation still.
I'm not saying that we weren't aware, but I'm saying that, remember, that's something sensitive, so we're gonna wait on the report and give a feedback.
Initial reports surrounding the man's death indicate that on the day in question, the father of 3, his wife, Aravana Permanand, and his brother-in-law were out on a fishing trip at Elso Farm, commonly called the Cherry Farm, on the east bank of Demerara. At about 13 hours 30 on the said day, Ramnarine was in the process of casting his fishing net when it came into contact with a live exposed electrical wire, which subsequently caused him to collapse immediately. Ramnarine has left to mourn his wife and 3 children. For Globespan 24x7 News, Kippany Jordan.
Thanks, Kippany. People's Progressive Party supporters who allowed an 8-year-old girl to take part in a picketed exercise in Berbice had to rush her to the hospital for medical treatment after she was hit by a passing vehicle. The accident occurred at around 1800 hours on Sunday, August 18, while the PPP supporters were picketing a ministerial community outreach at Blairmont Primary School, West Bank, Berbice. Reports from the Fort Wellington Hospital said the child was treated for head injury at 1800 hours 40. She was subsequently allowed to leave, but her parents were advised to return with her the next day for further treatment. We'll take a short break. Do stay with us.
Travelspan is pleased to announce special fares from New York to Guyana for Christmas. Seats are available to travel, and depending on which dates you choose, fares range from $8.49 to $11.69. These are limited block seats on American Airlines non-stop flight from JFK to Guyana. Call 718-845-0437. That's 718-845-0437. Or book online at travelspan.com. Travelspan does have a payment plan, so travel plans, call Travelspan.
Amro's Travel Service is pleased to support Globespan 24/7 broadcasts. We provide travel solutions via our 4 locations in Trinidad. Chaguanas at 665-3383, Val Park 645-1604, Port of Spain 625-0800, and San Fernando at 652-4789. Remember, when you travel, Amro's is the way to go.
We would like to ask all of our faithful viewers to kindly like and follow Globespan 24x7 Facebook page and subscribe to Globespan 24x7 YouTube channel to receive up-to-date notifications of when we are live. Globespan 24x7 has vacancies for full-time positions such as reporters, newscasters, and news editors. Persons serious about joining a new and dynamic news team are asked to send their application to careers@globespantechnology.com.
This newscast is brought to you with the kind compliments of Travelspan GT, with locations in Georgetown and Berbice. For all your travel needs, call Travelspan GT at 327-1701, located at Lot 3A North Road, Georgetown, between Camp and Wellington Street. In Rose Hall, call 337-4287, and in New Amsterdam, call 333-6230. Call Travelspan today.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll now take a look at our regional and international news. Regionally, a Trinidadian man and his female companion are dead following a shootout with police on Friday night. A bar patron and a police officer were also wounded in the shooting. The incident occurred at around 2100 hours. Officers of the Special Operations Response Team were conducting an exercise in the area when they attempted to stop a vehicle. The driver pointed to a firearm at the officers and began shooting, police said. The officers responded, hitting the driver and a woman who was seated in the front passenger seat. Police said officers were also fired upon by a man hiding in some nearby bushes. The officers responded, but the man escaped. A police officer was shot in the left leg, and the man who was seated at a nearby bar was hit in the shoulder, police said. The four people were taken to the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex, where the driver and his female passenger were pronounced dead. Internationally, Italy's Prime Minister, Giuseppe Conte, has announced he has handed in his resignation. Conte made the announcement on Tuesday afternoon after delivering a blistering attack against coalition partner and leader of the Nationalist League Party, Matteo Salvini. It comes after Interior Minister Salvini tabled a no-confidence motion against the Prime Minister, withdrawing support for the populist government. In response, Conte called Salvini irresponsible and said he created a new political crisis for Italy for personal and party interests. Conte also stressed that a sudden government crisis puts Italy at risk of political and financial instability. We'll now take a look at what's happening in sport. Biggest party in sport, CPL fans have ensured they would not miss any of this year's action as they acquire their hero CPL tickets on the first day of sale on Monday. Ticket sales office at 238 Camp and Commonwealth Streets in Georgetown have opened its doors yesterday morning to the Eagle Caribbean Premier League fans who wanted to ensure that they would witness the action. The CPL ticket office will be open on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays from 9 to 5 and on Sundays from 9 to 2. Tickets for the red and green stands are priced at Ghana $5,000, while orange stand tickets are priced at $3,000. Tickets for the grass mound remain at Ghana $2,000. According to CPL, the ticket sales for the final two home games against the Jamaica Tallowers on October 3 and Trinbago Knight Riders on October 4 will go on sale from Monday, September 9. Guyanese cricket fans and loyal supporters of the Ghana Amazon Warriors are urged to uplift their tickets at the soonest possible time so as to avoid the rush when match days are near. And finally in sports, Steve Smith, the Australia batsman, has been ruled out of the third Ashes Test cricket after suffering a concussion. The 30-year-old was hit in the neck by a 92 miles per hour bouncer from Jofra Archer on day 4 of the second test, but he passed an initial concussion test and had returned to continue his innings. Smith has scored 142, 144, and 92 in his 3 innings so far in the series. However, he has been confirmed who will replace him. Smith is also the Australia team for the third test at Headingley, which starts on Thursday. Former captain Smith was replaced in the second test at Lord's with Lashenberg becoming Test cricket's first concussion substitute. He made 59 as Australia survived a tense final evening to claim a draw and preserve their 1-0 series lead with 3 matches to play. And that has brought us to the end of today's news, but before we go, here's a recap of our major headlines. Guyana's economic growth nothing to be excited about, says analysts. $70 million mortuary to be constructed in Region 6 by year end. Over 50 employers taken to court for breaching labor laws. Law students praise government for scholarship initiative, and JetBlue considering Ghana route, says Minister Patterson. Thanks for watching Globespan 24/7 News. On behalf of myself, Samuel Suknalan, the news and technical team, until next time, do have a great evening. Goodbye for now.